A bomb threat at an Arkansas high school.
And parents fight the lifting of the TSA mask mandate. Your HU16 News starts now.
From the students of Harding University, this is HU16 News, live at 5.
Hello and welcome to HU16's Live at 5. I'm Sarah Hickerson.
And I'm Emily Sundermeyer. Thank you for joining us.
The president has announced the United States will be sending more military aid to the Ukraine. This morning, President Joe Biden said an additional $800 million will be sent to Ukraine to help fight the Russian invasion.
In addition to bolstering Ukraine's resistance on the battlefield, we're also demonstrating our support for the people of Ukraine. Today, the United States is announcing that we intend to provide an additional $500 million in direct economic assistance to the Ukrainian government.
The money will be used to purchase heavy artillery, lots of ammunition, and drones. This is in addition to the $2.6 million sent on military assistance that Biden has already approved earlier this year.
President Joe Biden unveiled his first national drug strategy earlier this morning. According to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the U.S. has hit an overdose death toll record of nearly 107,000 within a 12-month period. The White House Office of National Drug Control Policy Director says the newly unveiled strategy will be the first to prioritize harm reduction in the nation's history. The strategy will require changes in state laws and policies to support the expansion of drug harm reduction.
Wilbur D. Mills University Studies High School and Mills Middle School was evacuated this afternoon after receiving bomb threats. Arkansas State Police and law enforcement responded to the scene and searched both schools. Students and staff shortly returned to the buildings after receiving an all-clear around 2:45 p.m. And White County Attorney Christopher O'Neill has been arrested for driving while under the influence. O'Neill is the city attorney for Beebe, Pangbourne, and just recently becoming the attorney for Bald Knob. O'Neill is being charged for misdemeanor driving while intoxicated, driving left off the center, and refusal to submit. He is scheduled to appear in Cleburne County District Court on May 10th.
Intersections closed in Little Rock are finally open after the conclusion of an investigation by Little Rock Police. On Wednesday morning, the LRPD was called to the intersection of Markham and Scott, closing the area to the public upon a death investigation. The death was ruled a suicide. And Ford is calling back more than 600 pickup trucks and SUVs across the country about a possible defect in the windshield wipers. With Ford F-Series pickups being one of the most popular and most sold vehicles in this country, this is a concern for many. The vehicles with possible defects include F-150 pickups, Ford Expeditions, and Lincoln Navigator SUVs from the 2020 and 2021 models. Ford says U.S. safety regulators discovered that the teeth on the wipers are not the correct height, which could result in reduced visibility and even increase the risk of a car accident. The company will replace all windshield wiper arms and will notify all their customers by May 23rd.
And the largest steel manufacturer in the United States announced that they will be planting a new hub at the former LM Wind Power Complex at the port in Little Rock. W&W AFCO Steel is the largest steel company in the United States. The expansion will bring 115 full-time job opportunities and an $18.7 million investment to the company's operations throughout the state. This is the latest announcement in the string of new businesses at the Little Rock port. A rise in COVID cases has caused concern for health officials. Today, COVID cases rose by 192, the largest increase since last month. The BA.2 subvariant of Omicron is said to be more contagious than the original strand, and gatherings from Easter weekend are the possible reason for the increase in cases. However, there seems to be no reason to be concerned right now. After a rainy day yesterday, the sun is back out on campus, but is it here to stay?
For more on the weather, let's send it over to HU16's Emma McDarris. Emma.
Hey, Emily and Sarah. I'm glad to say that the sun is here to stay, and so is our higher temperatures. I'll tell you all about the weekend's weather after the break.
Do you see your future in healthcare, but not sure where you belong? Consider a career in pharmacy. Harding University's College of Pharmacy will prepare you to become a trusted patient care leader in your community. Our 3.5-year Doctor of Pharmacy program allows you to join the workforce quickly, all taught with a foundation of Christian ethics and values. Visit harding.edu/pharmacy.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
Little everyday conversations about the dangers of underage drinking can make a big difference in a child's life. Talk, they hear you.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Hey!
Okay. If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
Welcome back to HU16. I'm Emma McDarris, and it's weather time. Right now, opposed to what this says, it's actually 76 degrees. Here in Arkansas, it's been cloudy and in the high 70s just about all day with that humidity at 61%, which we are definitely feeling right now. As we look across Arkansas, we can see that we range anywhere from those low 70s even to the low 80s, with right now, of course, us being in those upper 70s. As we look at today's highs, we're going to be seeing those upper 70s to low 80s again, with Searcy reaching about 78 today. As we look at tomorrow's highs, we're actually going to be seeing a little influx of temperature, with Searcy predicted to reach 82 tomorrow. As we look at today's surface map, we can see that there was a cold front pushing down all this rain and humidity on us today. But as we look at tomorrow's, we're going to be seeing that there's really nothing going to be over us tomorrow, but we're going to watch this right here because that's going to be our storms later on in the weekend. As we look at the next 12 hours, we're going to be seeing that temperatures, of course, will be falling down to the mid-60s tonight, but it should just be cloudy. There should be no precipitation, so it should be a beautiful night to get out here on campus. As we look at your 5-day forecast, we can see that we are going to be slowly declining throughout the week, starting in those low 80s, and as we hit the weekend, we're going to be seeing that we're going to be having some storms. Even into next week, there's always that chance of storms, which is going to bring our temperatures down to those low 60s again. That's all I have for your HU16 weather. I'm Emma McDarris. Over to you, Emily.
The TSA lifted its mask mandates for airline travel earlier this week, but some parents are fighting this decision.
That story after the break.
I may never have met you. We don't go way back. Maybe we wouldn't even be friends if we did. But when you wear a mask, you have my respect. Because your mask doesn't protect you. It protects me. I wear my mask to protect you. Mask up, America.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
If you're traveling soon, don't throw away your masks just yet. The U.S. Justice Department says it will appeal a federal court ruling that struck down the travel mask mandate after the CDC determined masks are still needed on public transportation.
And some parents, especially with kids too young to be vaccinated, say they are feeling blindsided by the change, and they are rethinking their summer travel plans. Elizabeth Cohen reports.
For more than 2 years, Erin Golder has done everything she can to keep her children safe from COVID.
We're pretty COVID conscious. We're probably the strictest people that we know now.
6-year-old Quinn and 3-year-old Haven have been to parks, nature reserves, zoos, but they won't be getting on an airplane anytime soon.
If people aren't wearing masks, then we're definitely going to come up with a different plan.
The Goulders had planned to fly to Los Angeles in Europe this summer, but now they've scrapped all that after the sudden end of masking requirements on planes.
Yay, no more masks! Woo!
Can you describe the moment when you found out that people won't be required to wear masks on planes?
I was just thinking of the people who were up in planes when mid-flight. I was angry and feeling anxious for them that they didn't have a choice in the matter.
It sounds like you weren't cheering when you heard the news.
No, I don't understand. I don't understand what the big deal about a mask is. When you're in a enclosed space with that many people coming from that many different places.
Fellow travelers wearing masks was an important layer of safety for the whole family. Erin, her husband, and older daughter are vaccinated, but they know they could still get COVID. And their younger daughter, Haven, she's too young to be vaccinated, so she's completely unprotected. When you think about taking Haven on a plane with a bunch of people who aren't wearing masks, she's not vaccinated. What are you worried about?
My biggest worry is the long COVID and also the unknowns.
Dr. William Schaffner, a vaccine advisor to the CDC, says different families will make different decisions about flying in planes. If your young child is in daycare or preschool, is getting on a plane really that much more of a risk?
I wouldn't think that going on a plane exposes them to any more risk than they might be exposed to in the community in everyday activities.
If you're worried about your young child's safety on a plane, he says consider driving if that's possible, and if it's not,
then I would do everything I could to minimize the risk. Try to keep the mask on myself and my children, of course, and then also do as much social distancing as possible.
Overall, children are at less risk of severe disease with COVID, but Schaffner emphasizes that the risk is not zero, and it's the unknowns of this novel virus that really worry Erin.
My children are just starting out their lives. I want them to have the best shot they can, and if I can put a mask and put them in safer situations, that's what I'm going to choose to do.
The City of Searcy has approved a long-term master plan for the city with the Craft & Toll civil engineering firm. Crafton Toll presented results last week to the Searcy City Council from a visioning workshop held last August. The council also decided Monday on 2 other companies to keep under consideration if negotiations do not work out: McClellan Consulting Engineers and Half Associates. Spring sports are winding down to a close, but postseasons are gearing up.
To find out how Harding teams are doing, let's go over to HU16's Mitch Friesenberg. Mitch?
We've got a big slate of games coming up this weekend, and women's tennis climb the rankings. All that and more after the break.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
The day that JD was injured, I had woke up to an odd phone call. It was the military calling to tell me that he had stepped on an IED.
The day I got injured, she got wounded as well. And the veterans wouldn't be the men that we are and the women that we are today if it wasn't for our better half helping us every direction we go.
Find the nonprofits that support veterans. Offer your time if you don't have the financial resources to offer. There's always a way to help.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Welcome to HU16 Sports. Let's get right into it. The women's tennis team is rising in the polls. After becoming conference champions, the Lady Bison jumped 6 places to rank 28 in Division II. The team claimed their second conference title in a row over Arkansas Tech last week, 4-3, and only their third title since joining the conference. Also, the tennis team remained third in the Central Regional rankings behind Central Oklahoma and Augustana, South Dakota. You can catch the tennis team next when they play in the GAC Tournament semifinals April 30th. The baseball team is in Oklahoma this weekend. The Bison will play a 3-game series Friday through Saturday against Southwestern Oklahoma State in Weatherford. Harding is currently 5th in conference standings with a 15-12 record in conference play, while Southwestern is 9th in the conference, going 11-15 in conference play. Friday's doubleheader begins at noon, and you can catch the action at hardingsports.com. The track teams have a big competition this weekend as well. This weekend, Harding is on the road to Jonesboro for the Red Wolves Open, hosted by Arkansas State. Both the men's and women's team have performed fantastically this season, scoring first in events at the Rhodes 7-Way meet in Memphis last week, behind the GAC Track Athletes of the Week in Dakarai Bush, Austin Parrish, and Kara Mason. As one of the top performing track programs in Division II, expect our athletes to reach new heights this weekend. A sport is rising in popularity at Harding. Now let's toss it to HU16's Michaela Rodriguez to tell us more. What's up, Mac?
If you heard the words Harding Apocalypse, don't fret. It's actually the name of the Harding University men's ultimate frisbee team. Harding Apocalypse is a university organization that has been around since the year 2003 and is complemented by the women's team, the Sky Bisons. The Ultimate Team plays at tournaments against a variety of teams, including ones from familiar universities, such as Michigan State, Texas Tech, Alabama, and many more. Whether it's the intramural fields or the front lawn, you can find the team practicing the whole school year long, and they eagerly invite their fellow peers to toss the disc around with them during their practices. This year, the team was led by senior John David Alston, fifth year Justin Mills, and junior CJ Butler, who led their team through a fantastic season against some tough competition. The Harding Ultimate Team is set to play their last game this Saturday, April 23rd in Conway, Arkansas. For more information about Apocalypse, you can contact the Fall 2022 captain, Scott May. That's all I have on Ultimate. Tossing it back to you, Mitch.
Thanks, Michaela, and nice catch. Now it's time for, in my opinion, the best part of the broadcast, which is the coolest thing I saw, which happened last night in Milwaukee when the Chicago Bulls clapped back against the defending champion Bucks in Game 2, led by star DeMar DeRozan, scoring 40. Take a look.
Williams, batted out by Vucevic. DeRozan down the lane, Haynes, and hits, frozen. DeRozan.
Tied 1-1, the series heads back to Chicago Friday night. This is the first time in 5 years the Bulls have been to the playoffs, and if they win against the 2021 NBA champion Bucks, it will be one of the biggest sports victories in years for Chicago and a defining footnote in the oldest interstate sports rivalry in the country between Illinois and Wisconsin. Tune into this one, you won't want to miss it. Anyway, that's all we have today in sports. To catch upcoming games and highlights, go to website at hardingsports.com. Back to Sarah and Emily.
Thanks, Mitch. The inspiring story of a man set free after being wrongly imprisoned.
That and one final look at your weather after the break.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Harding University's HU16 is going digital. We are discontinuing broadcasts on White County Cable and moving to streaming services. You can catch live events, news broadcasts, and archived games all on our Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV apps. Watch all these and more from the comfort of your own home or on the go. You can keep up with your favorite Bison sports or even catch up on Chapel. Search Harding on your streaming device, click on our logo, and download the free app today.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life.
So I wanted to talk with you and your mom today, Lily, because of some of the changes your friends and teachers have seen in you lately. And along with the incident the other day, you were with Derek when he was caught selling marijuana.
Yeah, he was selling it.
Honey, we know. But we care about you and want to know what's going on.
That's right. We'd like to understand it better and see how we might help. And if weed is a part of it, we want to make sure you know about the negative consequences for someone your age. So, can we talk?
Talk. They hear you.
A California man who spent more than 3 decades behind bars for a murder he did not commit was set free on Wednesday.
Liz Kreutz has the story.
Cheers for Joaquin Syria in his first moments of freedom in 32 years.
followed quickly by hugs from his family, son Pedro holding on. The feeling, says Sierra, is too much to put into words.
It's a feeling that you cannot express it. You know, it's a feeling that it don't matter how you try to express, you can really not express it completely.
He was wrongly convicted of murdering a friend in the Soma district in 1990. A conviction overturned Monday by a San Francisco Superior Court judge. Syria embracing the attorneys who fought for him. The Northern California Innocence Project putting the case in front of the DA's Innocence Commission 18 months ago.
When the San Francisco District Attorney, they do justice when justice needs to be done. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the day. I want to say thank you to my loyal aliens.
Syria citing the support of family, his attorneys, and his faith for getting him through.
My first 5 years, I really was thinking, you know, that I cannot take this. I cannot take it, you know. And I was thinking that I go and lose my mind any day. But when you put faith, you know, when you put faith and your faith is attached, you know, to God, you have to keep going.
The director of the Northern California Innocence Project by his side.
This is what we do our work for. These moments are amazing. It is why we have fought for 20 years to correct the eyewitness identification procedures that are used so that mistakes like this don't happen.
The district attorney's office taking a moment with Sierra before speaking to the press.
Spent extensive resources, a great deal of time reviewing this case, conducting new investigation, including new witnesses, and ultimately it resulted in the exoneration of Joaquin Syria.
His son also still processing the moment.
I'm still grasping the whole situation. You know, it's 32 years that got taken away from me and from him, but I'm glad he's home. You know, we got a lot of catching up to do.
As for Sierra, he says he's just grateful, considering himself one of the lucky ones.
We got a lot of job to do because it's no doubt in my mind. It's on other people behind me. It's on other people behind me in my same situation, man.
Let's take one last look at our final weather.
HU16's Emma McDarris is here with us. Hey, Emma.
Hey, Emily and Sarah. Before we leave, we're going to take one last look at that 5-day forecast. So as we head into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing that it should be 82 and partly cloudy all day, and that's going to stay consistent as we head into Saturday. But as we hit Sunday into the beginning of next week, we're going to be seeing those temperatures drop back down to those high 60s with chances of storms Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday. That's all I have. Back to you, Emily.
Thank you for joining us for HU16's Live at 5, where community matters.
Stay tuned for a replay of this morning's chapel. We'll see you tomorrow.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and